Why do you think these Leafs-Jets games historically have been so edgy? You guys aren't division rivals. Like, what's the source of that, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, two passionate fan bases. The Winnipeg, they love their Jets, and Toronto loves us. So it's always fun playing them. Maybe it goes back to that Canadian division. I'm not sure, but I wasn't here at that time,
Right.
so who knows? But it's fun hockey to play in.
Have you noticed Auston being more physical this year compared to last year?
Yeah, he's playing a more physical game. It seems like he's getting on the forecheck. He's using his big body and his strength, and obviously he's adding that to his game. And I think that's a great thing. And he's so dynamic as a player offensively, and then now he adds that. It just brings that more to his game. So it's pretty good to see.
What does that do for someone like you on his line when he's doing that?
Yeah, obviously I tried to make space for him and play that physical role and make it easy for both of them. But Matty's doing that as well, and he's giving us space. So it's good, and I just try to just keep playing my game.
Is the line getting closer, Michael, to what you guys want it to be, do you think?
I think so, yeah. Obviously, it's not a bad start. Obviously, we are contributing a little bit, but we are getting our chances, and it just hasn't gone our way. So, you know what, we don't try to think about that much. We just try to go out there and play our game, and we all know that, we're good enough and we have the chances. And it's just a matter of time until it comes. So we just got to keep going game by game.
What does it mean for the group to get Wayne, not only Wayne back in, but that he, had to persevere a bit?
Yeah. Yeah, Simmer's a big part of this team, and he was a big part of it last year, and he's a big part of it this year as well. He's a great guy in the room, and all of us are really happy that he's back in the lineup for us. He brings that. Obviously, he's impactful. He's in the lineup, and the other team knows he's in the lineup, and Simmer brings it every day, and he has that intensity. So we're all happy. He's back with us, and he's ready to roll.
What's the balance like for you? Auston takes a lot of abuse, obviously. Everyone's got him circled. You want to stand up for him. You don't want to take penalties. Like, how do you walk that line?
Yeah, obviously I want to stand up for him no matter what. And if anything happens to him, I'm going to be the first one in there and backing up my boy. So, you also have to be smart with it, obviously. He drew a penalty last game, and I did want to retaliate, but I kind of held back as much as I could because obviously we're going to the power play. You got to be smart with it as well. You can't be silly and even that up. So you got to read the situation, and I just try to back him up as much as I can, and whenever need be.
What, if anything, have you learned about Elias Samsonov in the short time he's been here?
Sammy's been great for us, obviously. He's got a lot of wins under his belt already, and he seems just like he's really calm in the net, and he's been playing great for us, and he's an awesome guy off the ice too. So we're really happy that
he says he likes to smile a lot. Is that something he says a lot?
Yeah, he is always smiling. That's funny you say that. Yeah, he's always smiling. He's always in a good mood, and he's been great for us.
What does it mean to the second power play unit? You guys don't get a lot of time, but you got 2 goals the other game. I know that other one didn't count as one, but what does it mean to you guys as a group to contribute that way?
Yeah, that's obviously great. Obviously, whenever we do get time out there, we want to make the most of it, even if it's not a goal. We just want to bring momentum into the 5-on-5 after the power play. So I thought we did a really good job with that last game, and obviously we got a goal with Footy, and then Robbie's was just seconds after. So, if we can just build off that and bring that into the night's game, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, they're always intense. They're a fast, physical, heavy team, and just by that very nature, I think the games are intense and like I said, physical and competitive. So they definitely have been edgy. So it'll be more of the same tonight, we expect.
With that in mind, what's it mean to have Wayne Simmonds back in the lineup tonight?
Yeah, it's great to have those guys. He provides a lot of grit for us, and he plays physically and also does a lot of good things aside from that. So, it's good to have him in.
How do you think Victor Mete looked in his debut?
I thought Vic was incredible. He was really good, moving his feet really well and making plays, escaping pressure, and especially playing the offside. I thought he did a really good job.
What was the feel with Rasmus? I know you guys have played together in the past.
We have, and I've been comfortable with him in the past, and I thought that he was really good the other night, and I enjoy playing with him, and I think we provide good options for each other.
How so?
Just being an option in terms of support, maybe in a neutral zone regroup or a breakout, being able to turn back the puck and keep possession as opposed to punting it. And then the offensive zone, I think he's really effective. He obviously has great offensive skill.
And he seems to lay a lot of hits. Like
Yeah, he is. I saw the stat sheet the other night.
Yeah.
I think he got credited with 7 hits,
Yeah.
which was it's a nice night. So yeah, he was doing everything. It's good.
You guys still haven't had that one night where you kind of explode offensively and pile up a bunch of goals. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, it's something that we're working towards, obviously, and I think at the beginning of the year, it's you're trying to figure out your identity as a team and how you play, and I think we kind of know what the recipe is, but we just have been maybe like it just seems on certain plays we're kind of like an inch away from clicking, or like we're just really close, but we're not quite there yet.
What's been the most impressive thing for you, Justin, about the way Ilya has played?
I just think he's been really calm and reliable. You know, like he's always there when we needed him, and he's given us a chance to win every game he's played.
You notice he smiles a lot?
Yeah, I know he's kind of a goofball. He's fun in the sewer ball arena, I guess, before the games, and he's always messing around, and you know, it's good energy.
What have you noticed about Austin's ability to play through the abuse that any top player is going to get?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can handle himself pretty well. He's obviously a big guy, and he has some weight that he can throw around as well. So, you know, we're not really worried about him being able to handle himself, but at the same time, you want your star players to be doing star player things more than, you know, having to handle that stuff.
Who's the best at sewer ball?
I'm going to say Mo, but I don't know. You got to ask other guys.
Yeah, just a good feeling.
Yeah.
Obviously, big job tonight with our group. We want to string some wins together.
What makes these Leafs Jets games so edgy?
I think every game's competitive. Doesn't matter who we're playing, but
Right.
yeah, it's a hard building to play in, and you know we're ready for it.
What's been your view from afar on the first 5 games this season?
Yeah, obviously we're 3-2. Not much more than that. You know, I don't really have an opinion. Just go out and play tonight.
You're playing tonight, though?
Yeah.
How do you handle the last few weeks of being down and kind of the up and down emotions of that, Kyle, or is there up and down emotions for you? Are there up and down emotions?
No.
No?
No,
How do you keep those at bay?
I don't have any.
Okay.
How much anticipation have you had to get back in, considering how last season ended for you?
Yeah, obviously, you know, this is where everybody wants to be, so just come in and play and be ready.
Body feeling coming off, you played a lot of minutes, obviously a physical game on Thursday.
Yeah, it was. I feel good. I mean, I think it was nice to kind of get that day yesterday and just kind of rest, recover, get a good skate in this morning, and be ready for tonight. So.
Was it mostly the bend cross-check, or was it just the minutes and wear and tear that maybe kept you out of practice?
Yeah, the cross check stung a little bit, but it was just kind of one of those things. You know, nothing serious, obviously, but just kind of stung for about 24 hours. But you know, it feels fine now. So.
We haven't been able to ask you much what it's like to be getting calls, but you are through the first several games here, Austin. What do you think the difference is? Or is there, or how do you see that?
Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to move my feet when I have the puck and. You know, not invite contact, but obviously you guys play physical, and that's perfectly fine. I think just kind of read off of what they're trying to do and try to get body position to, you know, kind of force them to, you know, take a penalty, or you know, you have a more clear lane to make a play.
What do you think about getting the calls? Is it reassuring or relief now, or how would you see that?
I mean, I don't pay too much attention to that. I think it's just, you know, I think it helps the team, obviously, puts us at an advantage for 2 minutes to, you know, try and go out and get a goal on the power play.
Do you feel like it was a good step for the line in terms of getting up some offensive rhythm the other night, or where do you feel like you guys are at?
Yeah, I think it was you know, a positive you know, direction for us. I think, you know, as a team through 5 games, you know, we're 3-2, and I don't think we've, you know, quite played as well as we'd like to, and obviously haven't really scratched the ceiling of what we believe is that is for our team. So we just want to continue to progress, take steps in the right way, and you know, obviously this is a really good, important road trip for us to get going here, especially early on in the season, to kind of come together, you know, create chemistry and stuff like that on the ice, off the ice, and just have fun going and playing some hockey.
What makes these Jets games? They seem like you guys aren't division rivals, I guess, the North Division. But what makes these games kind of edgy?
Oh, I mean, they have a good team over there. They got good players. I think maybe some of it stems from the COVID year and seeing each other quite a bit. And a lot of their core guys are still here, are still there intact, and likewise on our side too. So. They're a good team. They play with a lot of pace. Offensively, they're good, and defensively, they're pretty solid as well. Good goaltending. So, I think it's a pretty evenly matched game, and anybody can really beat anybody in this league. It doesn't really matter, what the team or what the circumstance is. You got to go out there and play and compete.
How different is the feel in the lineup when you got Wayne and Kyle dressing for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, those two guys are ultimate teammates, ultimate warriors. Obviously, in their careers, they've really. Grinding themselves into the position that they are in today and to have the careers that they've had. So, obviously, two guys that play physical. They're always going to have your back out there, and they bring a lot of energy and intensity to our team. So, I definitely don't think it's a negative thing to have guys like that in your lineup.
What's your sense of what they've gone through this year? Not making the team out of camp and then finding their way back in.
Oh, well, it's not easy, but I think, for those two guys, they have enough experience in this league and kind of know how things work and, just always staying ready, whether it's injuries, whether it's getting called into the lineup, they always stay ready. So, I don't think that's too much of a concern as far as like their situation and stuff goes. I think they're both, ultimate professionals and guys that have been around for a long time.
Sheldon, what went into the Kyle Clifford recall and get him in tonight?
It just gives us a different look on the fourth line, gives us a chance to have Cliff and Simmer back involved with our group. So for all of that, I just think it's good timing for it. Both guys bring us lots of energy, both on the bench and on the ice, and I think coming into this road trip we could use that.
Why do you think the games against Winnipeg have had a certain kind of edginess, at least the last few times?
Seems like maybe there's some stuff left over from that Canadian division. I played them, 10 times or something like that. But it's also just two competitive teams, two highly skilled teams that have had a lot of tough games, back and forth type games against each other. So there's all that part of it. The coaching staff here in Winnipeg and all of that. But a lot of those elements I would think would remain. From our side of it, like I said, I think it's just getting a little bit different look. I think we have that ability, with our depth that we have, to change the look of our team, in particular, the depth of our team. As I had gone through into the season and through camp, this is something that I had thought we would do at different times when we feel we could use a little bit of a boost and some energy and a little more veteran presence on our team, then we could make that switch.
Is it fair to say that through the first 5 games, the fourth line's underwhelmed a little bit or not quite lived up to your hopes?
Well, there's a couple things I'd say to that. The first thing is, the results haven't been, what I had hoped that they would be. However, the deck has been stacked very heavily against them, and that's by design. So to expect them to have good results or great results, given how heavily I've buried them in the defensive zone and the type of matchups they've had. I mean, they've been starting the defensive zone more than anybody in the league and playing against some of the tougher competition than anybody in the league, certainly of anybody lower in the lineup. So it's been a challenge for them that way. I just think as I look at individually, as we talked about with Obi Kubel yesterday, it's just, I think individually each player has sort of given us reason to or has not given us a reason to not change things if we feel necessary. And there's nobody, I don't think, that has said absolutely they need to be in the lineup because they're playing so well. So that allows us an opportunity to move some things around, but still believe in the different elements that we have there. We're still just trying to find the right mix.
Do you think the injury kind of put Engvall behind the 8 ball? Like, what's your sense of how he's started the season here?
Yeah, I do think that. I think that he's looked tentative and hesitant to skate. That's his number one asset, is to move his feet, both with the puck and without the puck, to get involved, and he hasn't done that here quite yet. So a bit of a reset for him here tonight. I spoke with him about that yesterday, just that wanted to kind of clear his head. He's an important player for us. I think he has well, I know he has more ability to impact our lineup positively. He had a good season last year, and we're looking for him to build on that, and it hasn't gone the way he or I would have liked it to start the season, but he's an important guy. We need to get him going.
Hey, Austin, so not that Austin needs any more confidence, but when a player of his stature is getting calls regularly now, or at least to start, like he wasn't last year, what can that do for him, do you think, if anything?
Well, I mean, clearly the obvious one is going to put him on the power play more, but I think naturally it should give him a little more space over time. Because if he's going to start getting those calls, and the opponent's going to have to be a little more conscious of what they're doing. I think that's ultimately is the official's job, is to make those appropriate calls to give the players the space and allow them to have a fair opportunity to play and use their skills and all those kind of things. So, I think that it's early in the season. We'll see how it goes. Usually, the standard and how things are called varies throughout the course of the season. But early on, he's been getting those calls. But as I talked about, I think he's really, he's trying to find his game and trying to find his rhythm, and he's really, he's engaged and involved in a lot of stuff that's happening, physically.
Obviously, Nick had a big game. Shows that he's willing to take a hit to make a play. What do you see as the challenge to the whole physical side of things with the NHL grind coming up for a smaller guy like that?
Well, I think for every player, I mean, the 82-game schedule, the pace of the NHL schedule is a challenge for everyone. If you're a young player and maybe an undersized guy, you've got to really pick your spots and be conscious of, be aware of what's happening around you. Maybe move the puck a little bit quicker than normal, but it's also finding that balance, because I think while he's a strong guy, I don't have any issues there, and we've seen developments in his strength, and he's improved in that area. But also, he's got this low center of gravity. He skates real low. He can get under a lot of guys. He can be a hard guy to hit that way. So just kind of moving his feet and skating through contact. But most importantly, you just can't shy away. You got to be able to find a way to play through it, because it's inevitable that it's going to come, and that's the reality of the league and of our sport. But he has the ability to do that, and he certainly has shown it here in the early going.
Samsonov again tonight?
Yes.
So how do you foresee the goaltending situation going forward? Like when Matt was available, you were kind of feeling things out. You have a different pedigree now with the two guys. Is it just kind of Samsonov going forward with Sheldon sprinkled in?
Yeah, well, we have a 5-game road trip here right now. We're going to need both guys. We have a back-to-back on this trip as well. So, Sheldon's going to get back in there, but certainly Samsonov's going to get, the heavier workload for sure. So we're managing that. You saw yesterday he went out and had a session with Curtis Sanford and kind of cleaned some things up and got some work in. And then we let him get off the ice. Didn't need to practice yesterday. So I think that's the type of things we'll continue to do. But we got to get Sheldon to stay sharp and stay ready, because you still need two guys.
How do you balance the power play? Obviously, the top unit is trying to get going here. Second unit produces basically 2 goals the other day. You're going to give those big guys the most time, but within either power plays when it's not clicking, or within games, how do you know when to pull back on them and give the other guys a shot?
Yeah, it's something that coach has to manage for sure. We had a lot of power plays the other day, and as you say, it's a balance for me. To give the second group more of a reward for the work that they've done and get them out there, but also you want the first group to be able to work their way through what they're going through to find their rhythm. I think after the Kerfoot goal the other night, the very next power play, we started the second group, tried to change the rhythm a little bit that way, give the second group the first minute or so, and it didn't go very well for them to start it. So we went back to the traditional look from there with the other group starting first, as we normally do. So it's one of those things. You want to give the other guys a little bit more, and then it doesn't go well for them, and now you've thrown them off. So yeah, there's a real balance there. But the fact that those guys picked up the slack for us on the second unit made a big difference for us in the game, clearly.
Sorry, can I ask just one thing? And I've probably missed this, but from what you've seen with the history between these two teams, what do you think gives games between these two teams such an edge?
Yeah, I think what I had talked about was just, I think there's, like the Canadian division, I think it added to additional rivalries. I mean, we have with Montreal and Ottawa, that seems like it's always kind of been there. But the Canadian division, I think all throughout Canada really added a lot to that. So I think that's really what, some of the leftovers of playing a team 10 times in one shortened season.